Check out how you can upgrade your gaming setup with light projectors, LEDs, and other accessories by using the links below. Hey guys, it's Kramer. Welcome to the Ankou Wilderness Slayer Guide. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. First of all, there's a few things to go over. The first thing worth noting is that this is actually a great task. You can make a lot of money, get a lot of Slayer experience and Laren's keys quickly, and you can absolutely destroy them with your cannon and get a ton of damage done very easily. Another thing worth noting is that at the end of the video, I'll show you how much profit I made from how many Ankous I had to kill and also how long it took. And the last thing is that there's also a safe way to kill these if you are low level and are just experimenting with Wilderness Slayer, and I'll also show that at the end of the video, so be sure to use the timestamps in the description below. First, the location and getting there. The Ankous are located in the Wilderness Slayer Cave. The easiest way to get there is by using a burning amulet to the bandit camp, running northeast a bit, and simply entering the Wilderness Slayer dungeon. After that, the Ankous are the first monster you'll see if you just run a little bit north. When it comes to armor, I don't recommend anything other than using melee, but regarding that, there are a few things worth noting. First of all, you don't want to bring something like a defender or a fire cape because you are going to be at level 20 or 21 wilderness. The next thing worth noting is that a bracelet of slaughter is optional because, as I mentioned earlier, I do personally quite enjoy this task, and if I was playing at a weird time, something like 3 a.m. in an American time, I would certainly consider a bracelet of slaughter to get more of these. The next piece of armor I recommend is a bone crusher necklace. This is because we are going to be using protect from melee while killing these, and if you're using a bone crusher necklace, you'll automatically be restoring your prayer points, which is very convenient. It will save you money, and also the stats on the bone crusher necklace are pretty good. Other than that, you just want to optimize for melee attack and strength bonus, as well as prayer bonus after that. It's also worth noting that you never want to forget your Slayer helm while on a Slayer task. When it comes to weapons while killing Ankous, I simply recommend bringing a Vigorous chain mace if you don't mind spending the money, because you will be making the money back while doing this task. Alternatively, you could just use your best melee weapon like a whip, for example. When it comes to inventory, this is what I recommend. I do recommend bringing a cannon and something like 500 to 1,000 cannonballs. I only used about 350 cannonballs while doing my entire task, so you could probably get away with something like 500. The next thing you'll want is a combat potion. This will speed up your task dramatically, also just give you better experience. Next, you'll want a one-click teleport if possible, so a royal seed pod would be ideal. Otherwise, you could use something like charged dragonstone jewelry, like an amulet of glory. Next, you will want a looting bag because there is a large variety of things that will be dropped, and you do want to pick up a lot of them. Again, we're going to be making a good amount of money back here. You also need a burning amulet. That's how we're going to get to the Ankous. And from there, you simply want to fill your inventory with a few extra super restores. So these could be blighted super restores to save you a bit of money, because we are going to be using protect from melee, as I mentioned earlier. Although I only needed to use one sip while I was on my task. You also want a few Saradomin brews, and from there you just want to fill your inventory with good food. When it comes to killing these guys, there isn't too much to say. You simply want to place your cannon somewhere to the slight east in the room. I found that if you went too far west, you weren't hitting very many Ankous, but a little bit to the east, like you see on my screen, is what I found to be good. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't really have to worry about prayer too much if you're using a bone crusher necklace, so that is very convenient. You could even get away with using something like piety if you wanted to. The only inconvenient thing about this task is that you're constantly going to be looting and checking on which things you should pick up and not pick up, because there's going to be a ton of items on the ground. So if I were you, I would just adjust your ground loot settings if you're using Rune Light, and just pick up things over whatever threshold you find to be suitable for you. I figured anything over 1k I'll pick up, and that's exactly what I did during this task. Now I'll talk about a few miscellaneous things. So as you can see, after doing this task, this is exactly how much I made. It did not take long at all, and I made about, upwards of 500k. That's before calculating expenses with ether and cannonballs, but in a 15-minute task, of course, that is pretty darn good. And that's not even considering the Laren's keys that I got. So again, it only took about 15 minutes. And regarding how to kill these guys safely, if you wanted to do this, first of all, it's not recommended because this is so much slower. I'd recommend using a cannon and protect from melee, even if you're low level, and just going to the Slayer dungeon. But if you simply just don't want to do that, you do have the option of killing Ankous in the graveyard and safe spotting them, though the safe spot is not perfect because until you lose aggression, you are going to be hit by random ghosts and Ankous. However, this is how you do it. So you just want to use a burning amulet and run north to the cemetery, or you can just buy a cemetery teleport tablet off the Grand Exchange, provided you're not an Iron Man. And from there, you just want to find a safe spot behind a tombstone. This is the one that I chose. It's possible that there are better ones, but I did not research this very thoroughly, so this is just explaining that there is a method to safe spot these, and it's really unlikely you're going to run into a PKer over here, whereas it's pretty likely you run into a PKer at some point if you go to the Wilderness Slayer dungeon. So that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it useful. If you liked the video, please drop a like. And if you want to upgrade your gaming setup and support the channel, please check out mozlights.com. All the links are going to be in the description. Check out how you can upgrade your gaming setup with light projectors, LEDs, and other accessories by using the links below.